Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on the Real Estate Podcast. I am Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and I thank you for joining us today on this episode of the Real Estate. Over the last 14 weeks, it has been a very challenging business environment, to say the least, for the entire United States of America and for all of us in the real estate industry. And we acknowledge that we have been lax on posting new episodes of the Real Estate Podcast. But I want to share with you what we've been up to. When the pandemic first hit, we immediately threw ourselves into helping all of you real estate professionals pivot your businesses and alter your marketing, and began training on how to shift your businesses virtual, how to take your real estate businesses virtual. We trained on how to do live virtual showings, how to do live virtual open houses, how to do live virtual realtor caravans and tours, but doing them virtually, and how to do live virtual listing presentations. This was not, do not use the term virtual tour. That's not what this is, or don't confuse it with virtual tours. This was live virtual showings and all of the live marketing that you needed to do on social media and your email marketing and other types of marketing to continue to move your real estate business forward and help buyers and sellers buy homes, even in the midst of all of these restrictions. That's what this is about, is continuing to still serve buyers and sellers even in the midst of all the restrictions that we were all facing. So during that 14 time period, we were agile and we were mobile, teaching all of you then how to pivot your businesses. And in doing that, we interviewed hundreds of agents and we conducted so many webinars. Hopefully many of you have been on our Expand Your Brand Business Builder webinars we've recorded over the last 12 weeks, as well as all of the live virtual open house trainings that we conducted for all of you and we recorded for you. You can find those pre-recorded sessions, by the way, at homesmart.com/virtual-open-house. But what I want to do for you today is I want to share with you some of the key highlights and insights that we heard from agents. And I will start with this today, a post recently on Facebook from Diana Constant Ekstrom, a HomeSmart agent in Chicago, Illinois. So kudos to you, Diana, and let's read your post. Just sold this house on the second day on the market, cash to close in 3 weeks, multiple offers. I am so thankful to HomeSmart for doing the webinars on the live virtual listing appointments, live virtual showings, and live virtual open houses. After watching the 4 webinars, it totally changed my mindset that it is possible to continue to sell in this difficult market. I'm trying all of these virtual ways, and I have to say I really like it. I had to really get comfortable using Zoom video for the first time. I took a listing with Zoom. I got a new buyer through my live virtual open house. Sold a house with virtual showings to a buyer in the Netherlands, reconnected with a high school friend through Facebook and listed her house during the last month. It's been very exciting. I don't know what else will come my way, but I'm totally open to doing things a different way virtually. Congratulations to you, Diana, and thank you for urging other agents on and sharing the success that can come from these live virtual trainings on how to shift your real estate business to be able to seize these opportunities even in the midst of our restrictive business environment. So what we want to do today is we want to play for you the audio of one of the recordings that Diana is talking about. So she talked about 4 different sessions, and we're going to break this into 4 different episodes here of the podcast. Part 1 of the trainings were entitled The Opportunity in the Plan. And so what we did was we talked about how to start, how to adapt, what are these virtual tools, and what do you need to know, and what's the plan for us as real estate agents to move forward and still help buyers and sellers. Part 2 was how to market these live virtual events? Because if you're going to host these live virtual showings or live virtual events, how do you market it in the MLS? How do you market it on social media and on Facebook and email? Or how do you get people to actually engage and attend? Part 3 was, okay, how do you actually execute and conduct these live virtual showings and live virtual open houses? What are the software options that you need to explore? So we talked about several of the different options, from Zoom software, Facebook Live, FaceTime, Google Meet, etc. And we walked through step by step how to use each type of software and how to set these live real estate events up and how to execute and conduct them. And then part 4, we took it a step further and taught you all how to execute and conduct live virtual realtor caravan tours and how to do live virtual listing presentations. So I hope you enjoy the next 4 episodes here of the Real Estate Podcast. And I encourage you to really try to apply these to your business. And if you do so, I believe that you're going to have similar results to Diana Ekstrom in Chicago. And one of the things that I highlight about what she said in her post is, I'm totally open to doing things virtually going forward, even as business restrictions are lifted. I don't know if it'll ever return totally to normal. And that's actually kind of what I want to highlight. It's not going to return fully to normal. These new virtual real estate tactics and actions are going to continue for a long time. Consumers have now learned that they can do so much via Zoom software. The Tonight Show for the last 2 months has been conducted via Zoom software, and they've used the word Zoom I don't know how many times in their broadcast. And Zoom has now become kind of part of the vocabulary of Americans. So whether it be Zoom or FaceTime or Facebook Live, consumers have really embraced all of this. And even after the restrictions are lifted, many consumers have learned that they can go tour 4 properties in 10 minutes or 15 minutes versus spending 4 hours driving around town being stuck in traffic. And that is what they're going to prefer. So I think virtual marketing is here to stay. So without any further ado, please enjoy part 1, 2, 3, and 4 of how to conduct live virtual real estate events. I hope you enjoy, and I'll be back at the end. Thank you. I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and we are going to be talking about everything virtual real estate right now. And I'm going to teach every one of you how to conduct live virtual showings, live virtual open houses, live realtor tours, etc., live realtor listing presentations. So the overall opportunity is that the world is shifting virtual, and it is shifting online, and it has happened very quickly just in the last 3 weeks in real estate, the last 4 weeks. And I want you to look at the meme that's up on the screen here. This was a post that someone made on social media. Said, if you can choose your spouse online, you can choose your house online. And as when I saw it, I laughed, and I smiled when I saw it. Sorry, I have to keep turning on my lights in my office. And but then as I began to work with agents and gathering information from agents all around the country about how they are taking their business virtual, what I learned was that they're all adapting very quickly. The consumers are adapting very quickly. And I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about how online dating a few years ago used to be abnormal. It wasn't a well-adopted practice. It was kind of, when it first came out, some people thought it was weird, thought it was unnatural, didn't have a lot of traction. But then all of a sudden, people started to go online. They became used to it. They became adept at it. And then a statistic that I heard was a year and a half ago, 39% of all Americans had found their spouse or their significant other online. And that shows a huge amount of model adoption in just a few short years. And that is the best way that I could describe what is happening in real estate. Real estate is moving online and moving virtual. recently you've seen your MLSs start to adopt virtual open houses, virtual showings, live virtual tours of homes, and they've all begun to adopt certain verbiage as well as support certain software tools within the MLSs to help us conduct virtual real estate. So the first one that I received was from the CDAR, California Desert Association of Realtors, the first notice, and then quickly 24 hours later, I received it from 2 other states, Arizona, CDAR, we had it from Colorado, and then yesterday I was conducting calls around the country with agents, Rhode Island, Colorado, all kinds of other states have begun to adopt with their MLS the terminology and the verbiage that we all have started to use about live virtual open houses and live virtual showings, and also supporting up to 12 different types of software that you'll see there on the screen to do live virtual open houses and do virtual showings. So now when you go to create an open house, you can actually designate an open house as to be an in-person open house, or you can designate it to be a virtual open house or a live virtual event. Up on the screen right there, you're going to see 12 different types of software that most of the MLSs are adopting. So we're going to teach you today how to market these homes in the MLS, how to go virtual, then how to market it with realtors, how to market it with consumers, and how to keep moving on down this road. It's important to note that your marketing team at HomeSmart, your executive team at HomeSmart, has been the National Association of Realtors. We've been working with the MLSs on the forefront of this over the last 3 weeks to make sure that we are right there leading the industry and you're leading your customers, and we are adapting with this. So up on the screen, you're going to see additional communications and verbiage from the MLSs. I see on the note someone said Albuquerque and Santa Fe MLSs as well. That's awesome. And then what's happening is now when you designate something as a listing that is capable of a live virtual showing or that is going to have a scheduled live virtual open house, what the MLSs are doing is they're putting little icons next to the property, designating these properties as virtual homes. For a while, the MLSs they hadn't yet been able to make these fields searchable. So if you wanted to search for only virtual properties, you couldn't do that. Well, just yesterday, several of the MLSs announced that these virtual fields are now searchable. So if you are a buyer's agent and you're working with buyers, and you need to know which properties are available for live virtual showings that are still safe within a shelter-in-place environment, some of the MLSs now are making it that you can search and only search for which ones of these listings are live virtual showings. Now, in addition to that, we've started to work with some some social media strategies dealing with hashtags and dealing with tagging that can make these listings searchable on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. I'll get to that in just a moment. But here's the overall concept. The overall concept is that now via meeting software, which we are all so used to, all of you right now are on Zoom software. Zoom is becoming a natural thing. How many of you 6 weeks ago were on Zoom every day? And how many of you are on Zoom right now? And your customers are on Zoom. Home buyers, home sellers are all on Zoom, or they're on Facebook Live, or they're on Google Meet, or they're on FaceTime, or they're on various different software. And so what the possibility is, the concept is that the home seller is in the safety of their own home. And they're the one that is working the camera via this live virtual meeting software like Zoom. So for example, on the screen right now, the home seller is the big window showing, it has the camera flipped around on the phone. So it's basically showing the home through the camera. On the right-hand side, you have the buyer's agent, you have the prospective buyer or buyers, and you have the seller's agent. And they're all participating virtually via this meeting software. So you can see on the left there's the HomeSmart marketing team has already started to adapt marketing pieces, now offering live virtual open houses on the various software pieces. And then you see that they are displaying the home seller is inside the home showing the property, and then it's showing to the prospective buyer, the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, each in the privacy of their own homes, but doing it via the meeting software. And so, we are adapting, and we're going to teach you how to do all of that. So we as an industry, we as real estate agents, we as a company are agile and mobile. And it's important to note consumers are agile and mobile, and we need to be as well. Just this morning, someone sent me this, and the subject line in their email was drumroll, introducing virtual shopping. And excuse me, it was Ashley Home Furniture, and they have this little GIF about shop your own way. And we read the copy right there. Give your home a professional's touch without leaving home. Our Ashley Home Store specialists are ready to connect with you today for a virtual shopping experience via Facebook Messenger, FaceTime, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and more. And then it was a long scrolling email. I broke it into side-by-side screen. And then it says, now Ashley Home Store is now a fever-free zone. And then they have other items in there. So what is happening is that we as an industry, real estate agents, we are going virtual, but so are other industries as well. And that's why even post COVID-19 and post this challenge and this struggle that we are all working through together, consumers and businesses are still going to conduct business virtually and online. So we need to hone this skill and have this strategy and have it available. And it's also going to become more accepted by consumers. The more companies, the more industries, every company and industry adopting it, it's going to become natural and second nature. So remember back to online virtual dating. At the beginning, it was weird, but then all of a sudden it has massive consumer adoption, and it's not weird anymore, and it's natural. And that's the same thing that is going to happen with moving businesses virtual, and everything real estate is moving virtual. One other quick example, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but watch this cool video an agent sent me from Chicago about how photographers are adapting to places where they're not even allowed to go inside the home anymore to shoot photography. They're standing out on the curbside on the street, and they're flying mini drones into the homes, and they're flying around and making virtual tours. So watch this video here, and let me know your comments in the chat. Here you go.
Stop right there. I've got the next big thing for you. We custom-built indoor real estate drones to fly through all your listings. Yep, we built the whole thing from the bottom up. Now we can fly inside your listings from outside the home. With fully insured and licensed pilots, there's no property that we can't tackle. Click today and get 20% off your indoor drone video. You won't regret it.
So the thing about this is that, someone asked me the other day, but isn't that kind of expensive? And it might be. And that's why, because we as a company are agile and mobile, your executive team, Agile Mobile, as a company, we are still operating, supporting all of you, your brokerages, your customers, even within all of the guidelines that we are supposed to be following. And many of us are working from home, but we're still conducting business. We're adapting. And we are leading you to adapt, and that's what we're going to do. And we just want you to know right out of the gate, we as a company are here to serve you, your customers, the brokers, and help you adapt to this virtual world. So up on the screen, this is a screenshot of one of our agents in California. His name is Chris Lardy. And Chris is in the upper right corner. He's the listing agent. In the upper left-hand corner is the buyer's agent. The lower right-hand corner is the buyer. They are on a Zoom meeting right now, and the buyer is actually, their identity is shielded. They have no photograph. Their phone number, their name is protected, and identity is shielded. And on the lower left is the home seller walking through the home, conducting a live virtual showing. And so I'm going to play this video for you in a minute that Chris was kind enough to make for me. But the result of this live virtual showing was that the home buyer put money down on, put their earnest money down, wrote the contract, and if they're coming up on closing, if they haven't already closed, because this was a couple weeks ago, Chris has been operating in a shelter-in-place environment for about 5 weeks now, and he was not going to just let his business stop. He adapted, he pivoted, and we're going to show you that video and show you how to do that today. So Zoom is one form of software. Another form of software, though, is FaceTime. Up on the screen, you can see FaceTime. With Zoom software, you can see 49 people on a screen at once. You can have 100 participants in a call at once on Zoom. And we'll show you that. We'll talk about your free account versus a paid account coming up. FaceTime, many Americans have Apple products, iPhones, etc. You can have up to 32 people on a FaceTime call. And so one of the things you could have is you could have the buyer, you could have the seller, the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, and the buyer's mother-in-law, the buyer's sister, the buyer's cousin, however many people to do the walkthrough with them to give them advice, whatever they might want to do. So there's lots of software options and lots of opportunity for us to do this. So let's talk about what the opportunity is nationwide for all of us. How awesome would it be if HomeSmart was the first company in the nation to provide live virtual showings in mass, to provide live virtual open houses in mass, to hold the first ever nationwide live virtual open house weekend. And so what we need to do in order to do this is we need to train you and educate you, and I need to show you the plan, which is in 2 slides. But as an example, this part down here at the bottom that I have about let's hold a live national virtual open house weekend. Last year, we picked a weekend and we put together a marketing program and we did a national open house weekend. The challenge or the opportunity at that point, though, everyone knew how to do traditional open houses. You could hold a home open and market it and have people walk through. But now if we want to do that virtually, we need to train you on how to do a national virtual open house weekend and get you to try it first before we can actually pick a weekend and then launch it. So up on the screen, you're going to see marketing teams already created a marketing piece for a national virtual open house weekend. The problem is we have to blur out that date because we can't pick a date until we teach you how to do it and until we have all of you that are adept at it. Because if we do a national open house weekend and we only have 10 agents doing it, it doesn't have the traction that it could if we get everyone on board and everyone doing this. And then we do hold a national open house with all of us across the country participating in doing this. So as a marketing team, though, we've gone and we've created that marketing. We've created marketing pieces for you to start to educate consumers, educate realtors, like up on the screen you see right there, now offering live virtual open houses via Zoom. You see now offering Facebook Live virtual open houses. So that way, when you do a traditional open house, you market it beforehand, you capture people's information and you get engagement at the event, and then you convert them later. We call that before, during, and after. Well, we have to do that same thing virtually. And if we do that, then we're all gonna gain more transactions. So here's the strategy. And what I need to know is if you are all in and if you want to participate and do this together. The first bullet point, talks about how we need to do this, how this needs to work. We have to do this together. We need massive participation from all of our brokerages and realtors around the country. We need to explain what needs to happen. We need to teach you all how to market this to both realtors and consumers and how to communicate and educate realtors and consumers as well. We need to train you on how to do it, how to conduct this and market your properties in the MLS. Make you aware of all the new marketing that the marketing team's created, all of the MLS marketing, the social media tools, signage, traditional marketing that the marketing team has created for you. We have to convince you to use it, convince you to try it, and have you become experts at it. And then once you actually conduct this, we have to train you on how to use the different meeting software, the live virtual meeting software, get you to use it, convince you to try it, have you become experts at it, and close transactions at it. So then, once we get that traction, we can pick a weekend for HomeSmart's National Live Virtual Open House Weekend. You all market it, we market it, we market your listings, and then consumers and realtors around the country participate. So here's the strategy. I'm going to teach you how to do it, get you to try it, get you to practice it and use it, become experts, and then have you lead the way. So what I'd like to know from all of you on the call right now is, are you in on virtual real estate? Go ahead and type it in the chat, or I'd like you to go to Smart Agent Ideas, our private Facebook group, and type, put a comment in there and a post about being all in on virtual real estate. And that way we get everybody across the country doing this, and we get everyone encouraging each other. So if you haven't yet heard about Smart Agent Ideas, what Smart Agent Ideas is our private Facebook group. If you just open up your Facebook app or open up Facebook on your, and please put the name of your brokerage, by the way, so we can pass this information on your brokerage and we can begin to coordinate this nationally. So put your name, the brokerage, and your city, and we will coordinate that with your franchisees or with your brokers. But back to Facebook Smart Agent Ideas. Go to Facebook, in the search bar, put Smart Agent, all one word, and Smart Agent Ideas group will come up, and then you ask to join the group, and then basically the agent services team will accept you into the group. And there we put different marketing materials, different announcements, and agents actually start to post helpful information and help each other begin to learn how to do live virtual events. And you can even set up, coordinate with each other to practice with each other to do these live virtual events and open house marketing. So just in the short amount of time, you're going to see agents have already gone in and started to comment. The Hillary Johnson Taylor, the Taylor Alt team is ready for the challenge. We're all in. And people started to post, I'm all in on virtual real estate. So if you want, go to Smart Agent Ideas, post this as well, and then start to share ideas. You'll notice that the second one, Gerald started to post, a video of how agents can be virtual in a virtual world. And we can start to encourage each other, share our success stories, and we can all do this and do this together. So now I want to pause for a minute. I want to read you something that happened just in the last week and a half here. And this is a email from Felice Katz-Bobo, our brokerage in Northern Arizona, Lakeside, Arizona. And one of her agents sent her this email. And I'd love you all to read it here. And it says, to whom it may concern, given the current COVID-19 conditions in which we all endeavor to remain safe, and I love this email, if you guys can adopt some of this verbiage in your communications to your customers and to other realtors and even to your broker, just get the word out that you're all in on virtual real estate. So here we go, read it again. Given the current COVID-19 conditions in which we all endeavor to remain safe and provide the top level of service to our clients, my team and I have discovered a simple and highly effective method to show homes on a virtual platform for increased safety of all involved. Today marked a new approach to showing properties on a virtual platform that will be incorporated into my team's processes and systems moving forward, even post-COVID-19. After successfully showing 3 homes, I was able to write an offer for my clients who are over 3 hours away from the actual properties, adhering to our governor's social distancing measures. Technology and fortitude made it all possible. Troy Brown, realtor and author, HomeSmart Professionals. Congratulations, Troy. That is awesome. Kudos to you. I love your verbiage there and what you wrote out, and that is a phenomenal way to begin to market and communicate out to your sphere of influence, to the industry, to consumers, that you are all in on virtual real estate and that you are capable and that they should contact you to keep conducting business even amid the COVID-19 measures that we're all facing. So I hope all of you copy this and use this with your customers and your agents, your communication, and congratulations to you, Troy. Thanks for sharing that with us, Felice. That's awesome information. But to me, that's encouraging, right? There's an example of an agent still doing business within a virtual world. So is Jillian Harris up in Oregon. She's just constantly posting about her transactions and showing how she's still adapting within a shelter-in-place environment. Here's a post by Chris Lardy in Orange County, California. Chris, who I talked about a minute ago, posted a picture of a family right here who bought this home And the picture on the left is of their closing and of their contract signing with the title company, 8 feet apart. They had masks, gloves, booties, and hand sanitizer in the middle. And the closing administrator was 8 feet away. They were using clean, unused pens, that type of thing. It's just business is still being done, and we're capturing it, and we're sharing that with everyone. So there you have it. That is part 1 of our 4-part series on how to conduct live virtual showings and events. And I hope you'll tune in for part 2 in this series, how to market live virtual events, live virtual showings, live virtual open houses, and how to engage your customers and get them to attend these events. That's coming up in part 2. See you on that episode.
Like what you're hearing on The Real Estate? Tell your friends about us. Tell them to check out all of our episodes on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. And don't forget to send any topics you want us to tackle to therealestate@homesmart.com.